I had a request to film my other salt tanks. This is my 10-gallon salt tank, little Reef tank. It's in my bedroom, so I can lay with my head right sideways on my side and really enjoy the view and relax watching the pulsing zinnias and stuff. This tank, the tank part was given to me. It's a shrimp kit. It was a shrimp kit. I don't remember what company it was with, but I turned it into a Reef tank. I like the look of the tank better than I always had just cheap rimmed tanks from like Walmart or whatever, and someone gave me this tank. They didn't want it anymore, and so I turned it into a Reef, and I think it looks really good. I, of course, changed the light and the filter, but it is about 10 gallons. It has live rock and live sand. It's been up and running about a year, so it's not as filled in and as beautiful as my 20-gallon long that I've had for 3 years up and running. This tank came with a glass lid, so I use it. I have 2 filters on it because I need water movement, and I can't put a big enough filter on here to put a lot of phosphate remover and stuff like that, because the flow is way too strong in all the 10s I've ever tried to use an AquaClear 70, and I think that's about the smallest you can go and still fit a heater in it. So, but this is a little palm filter, and it has a little adjustable dial on it. It is super tiny. The flow I keep right on full, and the only thing I keep on this side is just a little piece of that blue filter pad you can cut, because it is so small. In some of my other tanks I do put a little piece of poly filter in there, but I need the flow to be pretty high on this side because of the pulsing zinnia, and that dragon's tongue that's back there has to have pretty good flow to keep the debris blown off of it. So on this side I only have that in it, so the flow is pretty good. This, I don't know what it is. It's like a Penplex or something. Cascade maybe? I don't remember what it is. Maybe somebody knows and they can put it in the comments, but I keep it at almost full blast. I have a piece of not poly filter, but regular filter pad in it. I do have a piece of poly filter in the back, just a little square shoved down in there, and back there is the pantyhose thing I do, and I put the Phosguard and the carbon in one little pantyhose and shove it down in there, and it flows through that. And there's no lid on that, and I have that almost at full, and so the current comes around and swirls around into the front. I need it pretty strong on this side to keep the algae blown off of that gorgonia in the back there, and that's a piece that when I was trimming my gorgonia, and it's a Grubes, I think that one is, and when I was trimming it in my 20, I just glued it in here, and it's grown pretty big. Pretty fast. But this tank has just a firefish in it, and he's right there, and it has a shrimp in here, a pistol shrimp. I think it's a Randall's, the red and white striped one. It's got a little tiny fighting conch in here, and he kind of sifts the sand and vacuums around. A couple snails, a couple hermits. I like pulsing zinnia, but I'm afraid to ever put it in my 20 because it does take over. So I had it up in this corner, and it grew on the glass, and I like it on the glass, so it's not getting on my rocks and stuff. And I've got it on a isolated little rock back here. It does throw off a piece once in a while, and I pull it out when I see it. But there's a little clam, a little turkey clam or something right there that came on some live rock. That's alive. Got a pagoda cup coral there, a blastomusa, a couple different kinds of mushrooms I pulled out of my other tank. That's a Duncan that's growing back that wasn't doing good in another tank and was melting, and it's starting to come back. That is a Gongapora, a short one. I think that back there's a Monopora, and there is a Aiken or a Blastomusa, I guess, there. And got some Aikens there, and Pallies. Just some pipe organ on the top. There's another 2 different kinds of Gongapora. The one just had a crab walk across, a shrimp, so it's kind of closed up in the front there. There's some clove polyps, and back there I have, if I can do it without making everybody seasick, there's another little Gongapora that's purple and green. It's really unusual. I've never seen it before, and it was not doing good in any of my other tanks. I moved it in here, and he's opened up and happy. So I'm glad he found a happy place and didn't melt away on me. The light that I took off the light that came with the shrimp tank, and I got this little one off of eBay. I like it a lot. It's too strong. I had to turn it way down. I have the whites on 40 and the blues on 80 because it was burning everything. So I bet you could keep some other stuff on there, but I like it. It's really doing a good job. Has good coverage. You can see it pretty good coverage over the tank. Everything does good under it. I maintain this tank pretty much the same way I do my 20 long reef. If you want to go to my other videos and look, the only thing I don't dose this tank. I don't have a lot of hard stony stuff in here. If I have to, I will. I do put a little bit of reef energy in here every day. Top off with distilled. Use distilled. Instant Ocean is the salt I use in here, like my other tanks. And it's been a fun, nice little tank. I had a other salt 10 in here. Got bored with it, sold it. It was in a regular standard Walmart rim tank. Put a fresh water in here for a while. It got overgrown. It was dirted, so I couldn't really cut the plants out of it. Sold that. Sold both of those. And now I'm back to this. And I really like this tank. I think I want to just keep it and keep it running and see how it fills in over time. And it's pretty easy to take care of. I mean, really easy to take care of. And the flow is just right. It's not too much or too little. I mean, you can go with just a power head and maybe 1 filter, or even just 2 power heads. If you do weekly water changes, it would probably be alright, but I like having a place to put the Phos guard, and I always pack my tanks with corals, and so there's always a lot of chemical warfare going on. And anyway, that's my little 10-gallon reef. And the heater that I have in here is a cobalt, one of those cobalt, real slim. It's very slim and very unobtrusive, and it does a great job. I love those things. So, but anyway, that's my little tank and what's in it and how it's doing. And I'll leave you with some pictures of everything and how happy and pretty things are. That dragon chong, if you get some, it grows fast. I have to trim some every week just about. That's my tank. God bless and happy reefing.